Hi, this is Matt with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we'll be showing you how to repair your appliance. Remember, anytime you work on an appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution. Also make sure you turn off the gas valve at the wall. In this video we're going to show you how to change out the Maytag dryer gas valve. It's going to be a very easy repair and should only take a few minutes to show you how to do it. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can click on the link below or get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. When you open up the package, you're going to get the new dryer gas valve. The dryer gas valve is what controls the gas flow to the burner. The main reason you'll be changing it out is if it's failed and you're not getting any gas, or it's leaking and you smell gas. In order to change the part, we have to take the dryer apart. First thing we're going to do is open up the door. Once you have the door open, we can use our Phillips screwdriver to take out the two screws that hold the door on. Once you have both screws out, you can lift up on the door and pull it out of the frame. Once you have it out, you can set it aside. On the other side of the door, we're going to take off the two screws and the covers. Once you have both screws off, we can pull the front panel off. To get the front panel off, we're just going to grab it right here on each side and pull out. There's a couple locking tabs that we have to release. Once you have those released, we can lift the panel off the lower mounting brackets. Once you have it off, you can set it aside. Now that we have the front panel off, we can take out the gas valve. It's located down here in the right-hand lower corner. We have to remove this whole assembly so we can turn this bracket over and take the gas valve off of it. So the first thing we're going to do is disconnect the igniter. You can reach in and grab it. It has a locking tab on it. So we're going to take a small flathead screwdriver to help lift up on it and release it. Once you have the igniter wiring harness disconnected, you can disconnect the coils on the gas valve. All you have to do is pull these off. Once you have them off, you can get the wiring harnesses off to the side. And then we can reach in with a 7/8 inch wrench and loosen up the nut that holds the gas line on. Once you have it broke free, you should be able to just turn it with your hand. Once you have the gas line disconnected, we can take a 5/16 inch nut driver and we're going to remove these screws that hold the bracket to the bottom of the dryer. Now that we have the screws out, we can take the gas valve assembly and pull it towards the front of the dryer so it releases from the locking tab. Then you can lift it out of the dryer, and as you pull it out, you want to be careful that you don't hit the igniter on anything. You don't want to break it as you're pulling the burner assembly out. Now that we have the burner assembly out of the dryer, we can take the gas valve off. You're going to have to very carefully turn it over, being careful of the igniter at all times. And then we have to use a 1/4 inch nut driver to remove these two screws that hold the valve to the bracket. Once you have both screws out, we're going to turn it over again, and you have to pull back on the gas valve and get it into the larger opening so you can pull the large nut through the opening, and then we can separate the two pieces. Here's the old dryer gas valve next to the new one. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. The new gas valve comes set up to burn natural gas, so if your dryer has been converted in the past to burn liquid propane, then you're going to have to change the orifice and the cover from your old valve onto the new valve. Before we put the gas valve onto the bracket, we have to change over the fitting that attaches to the pipe. On the new valve, they made it a bigger nut than the smaller 7/8 one, and the bigger one won't fit through our bracket to mount. So we're just going to swap it out and put the old fitting onto the new valve. First thing we're going to do is remove the red plug. All you have to do is lift it out and set it aside. And then we're going to use a big 3/8" Allen wrench to go on the inside of the brass fitting and take them off at each valve. Yours might be on here kind of tight, so you might have to hold it down while you try to loosen up the fittings. Once we have the smaller one off the old valve, we're going to put some new pipe dope onto the threads, so when we tighten it down we get a good seal. Once you have the threads sealed up, we can screw the fitting into the new valve. Once you have the fitting swapped over, we can grab the bracket and put the gas valve on it. Now that we have the gas valve put together, we can put it onto the bracket. We're going to make sure that we put the nut through this opening here, and then make sure that the orifice goes into the burner tube. Once you have it in place, we can carefully turn it over. You want to make sure you don't touch the igniter or damage it. Then once you have it turned over, we can use our 1/4" nut driver to put in the screws. The manufacturer didn't thread these screw holes, so these screws may be a little bit harder than normal to drive in, but it should be no problem to get them to go in. Now that we have the gas burner assembly put back together, we can put it in the dryer. Now we can put the gas burner assembly in. We're just going to carefully feed it in. You want to be careful you don't bump the igniter on anything. Then we're going to put this little tab in the bottom of the dryer, and then we can push it forward. Once you have it in place, we can use a 5/16" nut driver to put in the screws that hold it to the base of the dryer. Once you have the screws tightened down, we can reattach the gas line to the valve. To hook the gas line up, all you have to do is line it up and get the nut started. Once you have it finger tight, we can grab our 7/8" wrench and tighten it down so we get a good seal. Once you have it tight, we can grab the wire harnesses and reconnect them to the two gas solenoids. Can't mix these up. There's one with 2 terminals that goes on the back solenoid, and the one with 3 terminals goes on the front one. Once you have those plugged in, we can reattach the wiring harness for the igniter. All you have to do is grab the 2 sides and match them up. It can only go on one way. Make sure you push it together so you get a good connection. Now that we have the gas valve installed, you may want to turn the gas on real quick and check for any gas leaks in this area to make sure you don't have anything leaking. Then you can turn the gas back off and we can put the dryer back together. In order to put the front panel on, all you have to do is set it down onto the lower brackets. Then we can lift it up. And you want to make sure that these locking tabs here go into these slots to hold the front panel on. Once you have the front panel on, we can put the screws and the covers on. We're going to use our Phillips screwdriver to put these in. Now that you have the screws and the covers on, we can mount the door on the other side. To put the door in, we're just gonna line up the tabs with the openings in the frame and push the lower one in. And then we can line up the upper one and push that in. Once you have them both in, we can use the Phillips screwdriver to put the screws in. Once you have the screws tightened down, you can close the dryer door, plug it back in, turn the gas back on, and take it for a spin. Thanks for joining us for another successful repair brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. Check out our other repair videos on our site, Facebook, and YouTube.